Asymmetrical Preparedness Exposed. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. We're going to talk today about the reality behind my actual level of preparedness. Strengths, weaknesses, those kind of things. So stay tuned. Actually, before we start the video, I need to ask you to please subscribe, ring that notification bell for all, hit that thumbs up, share the videos, comment below, and make sure you spread the love and grow the entire preparedness community. Thank you. Okay, so what is the real truth behind my level of preparedness? I have weak spots, just like you do. I have strengths, just like you do. I'm not perfect. Just because I'm up here, have a YouTube channel with, okay success, I feel, doesn't mean I'm infallible. So let's talk about, let me start off with some strengths. I'll alternate. How about that? We'll get a strength and then a weakness, then a strength, then a weakness. All right, let's start off positive though. Strength, food storage. I have a good amount of food storage. Not really necessarily worried about food. Do I keep adding to it? Yes, I do. Am I going to tell you the exact amount of food I have? No. Am I going to tell you the locations where it's stored? No. Of course not. But I have a lot of food. And I was thinking about the other aspect of food is how many people do I have to feed? Is it my family of 4? Is it our mag of approximately, actually it would be 2 mags plus a smaller group of people that would probably all come together. We're talking about probably 100 people, if not more. Which I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Talk about tribe and the aspects of that. Do I have enough to feed 100 people for a year? No, of course not. Do I have enough to feed 100 people for a month? Yes. Do I have enough for 100 people for 3 months? I don't know. I doubt it. So, at what level am I good? Well, it's tribe. So they have food storage also and other capabilities. So I don't have to necessarily worry about feeding everybody. It's not my sole responsibility. That's what you find in a tribe. Okay, so weakness, medical. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a medical professional. I have medical skills from time in the military, yes. Do I have any advanced medical capabilities myself, personally? No. I have the ability to suture. I have the ability to tourniquet. I have first aid. I have, I'd say, trauma care type stuff. And aftercare experience, I guess some experience with burns. But no, I don't have any advanced medical care. I'm not a registered nurse, I'm not a doctor, anything like that. So I feel that's a weakness. I have antibiotics on stockpile, I have lots of gauze, I have plenty of tourniquets, I have, suture kits, skin staplers, I have, wound cleaning, wound care, all the basic stuff that you find in, say, maybe like an EMT bag. So I know how to use things in an IFAC, of course, but I call medical as a weak area because I lack the knowledge that I would love to have. I get queasy when I start talking. When I watch, okay, if an event happens right in front of me, a traumatic event, I'm good, I'm fine. I can deal with it. Blood all over the place. I mean, I've been drenched almost head to toe in blood before. My uniform, military, soaking, all the bad things. No problem. But I'll tell you what, watching it on TV or learning about it in a classroom, I get all queasy, and I don't know if that happens to you, but I don't like that. So I couldn't be a doctor. I wouldn't make it. Okay, so medical is a weakness. Let's go on to a strength. Tactical. And security and defense stuff. But I'll also talk about some of that is a weakness. And I feel that actually the stuff I'm going to talk about is probably a weakness for most people. Almost everybody, I would say, has a weakness in this category. My ability to employ defensive tools, in a variety of situations, good, positive. That's that's good to go. Security and defensive. Now, what are we talking about? Personal defense, good. Defense of others, good. Defense of my property, I would say bad. You know why? Because I can't do it. It can't be a strength of mine because my location is good, but not the best. Very, very few locations. I mean, fixed positions. Very few actual fixed positions like houses, etc., stuff like that, structures, are actually defensible, what I would say, properly. So, defensive, I would say, is a weak spot. But it's one of those things I can't help. I do what I can. I have property. I have LPOPs, listening post observation posts. I have fixed fighting positions. I have funnels. I have delay features. I have warning features. I have all kinds of stuff. But I still feel it's a weakness. So, yeah. That being good. Okay, one of the strengths, talking about this whole, on the tactical side of things, is my MAG, my tribe. I would say that when and if everything goes down, capable fighters. I'm talking about people that are capable, trained, equipped, physically capable, mentally capable, all those things, and equipped properly and trained properly, of fighters that I would go into combat with, would number between probably around 15 to 20 guys, highly, fully capable. And another probably 10 to maybe 15 probably that are capable enough to sit in like a fixed fighting position or an LPOP or something like that. That would be like maybe older teenagers that aren't adults and aren't ready for the actual experience of combat, and some older gentlemen that used to be prior military or are prior military and are just, they're older. They're getting up there in age. They're not physically capable of, I'm talking about running and gunning, guerrilla war fighting, that kind of stuff. They're not fully capable of that. But you need people in the gathering spot to defend the families. So that's a good thing. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So that was that was a positive and a negative. So let's go to a positive. Positive, water storage. I would say water storage is right about the middle. I wouldn't really give it a positive or a negative. I have enough water on hand to fill our needs, our family's needs, 4 people, for 3 months, maybe ish, about 3 months ish. Yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself and say like 4 or 5, 6 months. And it depends on the season also. Gardening season, when it's hot in the summertime and the garden's taking a lot of water, that would go down quick. But the positive aspect of it is I live in the Pacific Northwest. I got lakes, streams, rivers all around me. So my ability to replenish water is good. And we're on a well. Yes, it is powered, but our well house has those big reservoirs. All you got to do is go over there, wheel a generator over there, charge it up for a little bit, let that well pump fill up those reservoirs, turn off the generator, use it down, and just keep doing that. Or, me personally, I don't, but my neighbor, my closest neighbor, has a way more robust water storage than I do, and he has a solar setup that he can just run an extension cord over there, plug in, do the same thing with a well pump. So I would say it's positive, negative. I'd say a lot of people would be like, whoa, yeah, you're definitely there. To me, though, it's right about there. I mean, I might throw it in the positive category. I might throw it in the negative category. All right, so let's go negative. Or that was, well, let me see, positive. Calorie production. I feel, caveat, positive, sort of. I have 24 raised beds and 4 to 5-ish in-ground areas for gardening. My ability to grow food is really good. Fruits, berries, lots of vegetables, Lots of calories that way. Potatoes, carrots, turnips, sweet potato, or not sweet potatoes. I haven't had luck with those here in my climate. Drew some artichokes, a lot of good calorically dense foods. But this is a big weakness. Big weakness. If you want to hear weaknesses for asymmetrical preparedness, this is it. Animals. I do not raise any of my own animals. That is a big weakness. I know I need to work on it. It has been in our plans, and we want to get chickens. At least chickens. I was thinking chickens and maybe sheep and or goats. From what I've heard, sheep is the way to go over goats. But we haven't done that yet. So yeah, that's a big glaring weakness. But it's also mitigated a little bit by the fact that my neighbors there, my neighbors there, my neighbors there, and my neighbors there all have chickens. At least chickens, and if not more. Tribe members also have cattle. They have turkeys, pheasants, ducks, chickens, goats, sheep, pigs. So, you know, it's kind of me personally, it's a weak spot for me. But that's why tribe. That's why we have to have tribe. I can't do everything myself. I can't have everything be a strength. Some things are going to be weaknesses. It's just the way it is. So that is a glaring weakness in my preparedness level. I would love to at least get chickens, like I said. All right, so let's go on to a, well, that was kind of, okay, so positive and a negative. I got that covered. So we're back to positive. My ability to provide food or a source of cooking and a source of heat if the grid goes down. I'm good. That's a positive. Why? Because I'm sitting here right next to a, 250, 300 gallon propane tank that's full. I am also, and the only thing that goes to is the cooktop, the range, and our on-demand hot water heater. So it lasts a long time. We can't go quite a year without having it refilled, but almost. It's like we almost go a year. So it's a little bit less than once a year, or a little bit more than once a year, but almost a year. And if we try to cut back on it, it would be a year. Wood stove, firewood, good to go. I got all the firewood I could ever need. I'm looking at woods, you know, I'm looking at 80 acres of woods at least that I can grab stuff out of, not to mention all the tribe and all their properties. And not to mention all the firewood I have cut and stacked, not to mention the trees I already have on my lower field that are already downed, ready to be processed up into firewood that is good for this season. So I'm good there. So that's a positive. Okay. Negative. Let me see here. There are other negatives. There definitely are. Family's ability to help in the situation. And I'll give you the caveat with that. What I'm talking about is the fact that, so I have a 14-year-old boy, fully capable. Basically, same height, same build as me. Almost the same capability. Obviously, you know, I got more muscle mass, I got more knowledge, stuff like that. But very capable boy. 6-year-old girl that, I'll tell you what, terrible 2s? No, terrible 6s and 5s and 4s. She's a blessing. She is my little princess, but my gosh, she is very difficult sometimes. And I think about her. Maybe you do too if you have little ones. If you're ever in a bug out situation, or if you're in a hiding out in the mountains, you know, running and moving all the time, having to keep on the move, and her little fits and screaming and stuff like that, giving away your location. Yeah, and the fact that my wife has lupus. She's not physically capable of doing a lot of things. So a lot of it's on me and my older boy. With that said, we are all on the same page. We're all on board with everything. So everybody does help where at the absolute most they can. It's just that is a limiting factor. All right, so let's go back to a positive. Tribe. That is a huge positive for me. I have currently basically 3 tribes. I have a tribe that's predominantly tactical. We train regularly. A bunch of good dudes. And their families will be coming also. And a lot of the families are really tight. So that's really good. Not everybody is super tight. You know, some of them, you got circles. You got inner circle, and then you got, you know, outer circles, stuff like that. But, and that numbers, that group numbers between 15 and 30 on training days. And some of the people drive a little ways though, so you can't really count. That's why I said 15 to 20 fighters. And some of them are actually in the other group I'm going to talk about also. But because some of them won't be able to make it. One of our guys lives in Seattle. I mean, so it's great to have him, good dude, but odds of him actually getting here, slim. So that is what it is. Okay, so tribe. We have a homesteading group, tribe, that is approximately 20 to 25 families, all homesteaders, and you know, gardens, animals, property, all those kind of things. So that's really good. And some of those people are also cross over into the tactical group, and or have tactical capability, and maybe train with another group or other groups that are out there. And then we have a like-minded kind of social group where we go out to dinner, we go to the people's houses, and we talk about, you know, events and stuff like that. So we got, you know, like-minded, but they're definitely not like, actually some of the members cross over for inner circle. But anyway, enough about that. Tribe is very important. Okay, so kind of drawing a blank here. The point I wanted to make is that we all have strengths and weaknesses. I'm not infallible. I definitely have areas where I can improve my preparedness. One of them is I don't have a greenhouse yet. Let's talk about some negatives here, because I want you guys to really realize that I am just doing the best I can. I got so much to do. A greenhouse has been on the list. Chickens have been on the list. A fence for more security and privacy is also on the list. So, yeah, negative is I don't even have a greenhouse yet. My composting capability is nowhere near what I would like it to be. I do have a dual bin composter, and a lot of the stuff right now, like I'm amending my beds and putting them to bed for winter. So a lot of my compostable stuff goes in there, in the beds. I did talk about that video a while back, and if you saw the video, I totally brain farted. I apologize. And I mentioned the muck and or mud along like bays, harbors, sounds, aka salt water. I don't know why I said that. I was thinking lakes, streams, ponds, stuff like that. Don't get the mud and stuff like that around salt water, because the salt content will kill your plants. Somebody pointed out in the comments, thank you for calling me out. Hey, I'll admit it when I'm wrong. No problem there. I make mistakes. Okay? But yeah, so that good nutrient-dense mud, the kind you want, is from fresh water sources. I apologize. I hope nobody went out there and did that and killed their garden. But yeah, and the gardening thing, I'm still learning. I'm not a master gardener by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, that, you know, that pretty much is it. First, though, please, before you go, if you could subscribe, ring the notification bell for all, hit the thumbs up, share the videos, comment below. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.